It was a dark and stormy night in Chicago when the Vigilante Racing League headed on up for some racing and paddling here on this fine Wednesday night as we get ourselves into race mode here once again. Happy to have you all here with us as a little bit of a change up from the real life NASCAR season. The drivers have had enough of the road courses and have elected to head on over to the not so used Chicagoland Speedway here, and oh man, it's gonna be a fantastic fight to the finish out there here tonight. Everything is gonna be coming into play. Whole bunch of rookies impressed us here last week. Let's see if they can do the same thing all over again as we get this party started here with the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
And welcome back. As always, we have to say a huge thank you to the proud sponsors of the VRL, such as GC Cruise Travel. Contact Mr. Greg Klein at 918-906-5616 or shoot him an email or a message over on the Facebooks to get your next vacation booked up and underway. Because, man, when I tell you that trying to plan a whole vacation, especially if you're not going alone, if you're going with like your family and people have special needs that they got to get taken care of, it's all a big hassle. Get that hassle out of your hands so you can start relaxing earlier today by going to a special travel agent like GC Cruise Travel and Mr. Greg Klein, and he'll even save you money while offering his services for you. So be sure to head on over to GC Cruise Travel, the official travel provider of AAA Broadcasting and the VRL. Also, big thank you to Blue Fox Properties and Mr. Dave Mayberry. Give him a call at 520-850-4189 if you're looking to buy or sell your home in the Tucson, Arizona area or anywhere across the country. Let his 18 plus years of experience get to work for you in a housing market that just gets crazier and crazier. So do not delay and get yourself a good quality realtor here today. Big thank you as well to D&D Race Graphics. Phenomenal paint schemes each and every single week that you get to see here on the broadcast, as well as the wonderful splash screens that kind of get us all kicked off and just kind of set the mood for the race, all done by the man, the myth, and the legend, Mr. Ricky Wittenberg out there. So if you want to go beautify your iRacing experience, head on over to D&D Race Graphics and let Ricky paint you up a fantastic paint scheme here today. And of course, he's also a realtor as well. So be sure, if you're over here on the East Coast, he's based up there in the Tennessee area, but he can help you out all across the country, just like Dave. Be sure to give him a call at 423-444-0454. And that's with Southbound Real Estate. So big thank you to Ricky Wittenberg and southbound real estate with D&D Race Graphics. As always, I am Alan Brown, and I am joined in the booth by my partner in crime, the Brewmaster in General, all up and ready to go. Alan, welcome back to one of our favorite tracks that we were very disappointed NASCAR took it off its official schedule and headed on down into downtown Chicago. Well, we head on back outside of those city limits, and we get to be mile and a half racing here tonight, and man, it's gonna be a little bit of a special night, a little bit of a homecoming, but a little dark and creepy out there tonight.
Yeah, I kind of miss this track. Mile and a half here at Chicagoland. It's pretty flat. It produces some great racing. Don't dare call it a cookie cutter track, because it's definitely not. It's definitely one of a kind, and anybody that's turned a bunch of laps here will tell you the same thing. But yeah, we're dealing with a little bit of fog tonight that we didn't anticipate, so blimp views are kind of obscured. Some of the lighting seems really dim. Hope it comes across well still on the broadcast, but yeah, we're dealing with some challenges out here tonight. But one thing we're not challenged with is the size of the field. We've got 30-something trucks out here. We're ready to go. So VRL always shows up in force, and these guys are going to battle it out here on this flat track. And one of the cool things I like about Chicagoland, it's one of those tracks where you can use the apron in the tri-oval. So we'll see some guys diving down all the way to the edge of the grass to try to, get that nose planted and try to make a pass in turn one. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see what these guys do here tonight. It's going to be a blast.
Yeah, that indeed. And you're mentioning about the car count. We are up to the full 40 driver field here tonight. And I don't believe we have anybody missing or on vacation. If we do, well, we're sorry that you're not here and enjoying this track out here with us. But we are missing someone important, though, on pit road here tonight. It's the one and only master of the anger management himself. It's Mr. Adam Turner. And unfortunately, duty has called, and he's been called into the big city to do some work stuff out there. Hopefully, because I can't imagine. Turner's more of a country folk kind of guy. I don't know why they want him to stay in the city overnight.
You know what he's doing? Right now, he's in Tulsa in the hospitality room of a hotel just drinking free beer. That's what he's doing right now.
You're right.
He's missing the race because of that. But I'm sure he's getting a lot of good information. He went to a conference up in Tulsa, so good for him. It's going to help his career and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, make no mistake, he's not working right now, folks. The class is over. Mm-hmm. The conference is over. He's drinking beer in the hospitality room. So if y'all want to say hi to him, definitely do so in the YouTube chat, and we'll read it out for him.
Oh, is he actually in Tulsa? I thought he was going to OKC.
No, it's Tulsa this time.
Oh, then you know what? He's probably out there crew chiefing for Greg Klein.
Him and Greg Klein are hanging out.
So
together.
Yeah, probably. I mean, who knows? We'll probably see him pop up on Greg's driver camera here when we're going throughout the race. But sadly, no Turner here tonight. So unfortunately, missing on him. It's a two-man show, but hey, it's still gonna be one heck of a show anyway. As we get the eyes peeping there in the chat. But as we get ready to head on into this qualifying session here, Mr. English, how about you run us down with some of the rules we got going on here for the evening?
Oh, hell, I wasn't ready for that. So some of the rules here tonight: 65% fuel, 5 total sets of tires. So they'll probably use a couple tire changes here tonight because of the wear that this track does create. Track temperature is very cool, 69 degrees. Lots of grip to find out there because of the cool temperatures. 133 laps officially here tonight. We do have one chance at a green-white checker here in case we need it. Let's see, incident count. There's no limit on incident count, so you won't be disqualified, but when you get to 13X, you're going to get a black flag, and then every 6x after that, you're going to get another black flag, and you got to come down to get a serve a black flag each time. But 0 fast repairs. That's the big thing here this season is no fast repairs for the cars this season. So whatever damage you incur out there on the track, you got to get it fixed in the pit lane as best you can, because there's no magic wand to wave over that thing and abracadabra, you got a brand new truck. They're not doing that this year.
Yeah, you're right there. It ain't Disneyland. It's Chicagoland here tonight. So, oh man, it's gonna be one heck of a wild ride out here as we take a look at some of this race information. Some well, I would say typically a typical Chicago evening here tonight. Nice and foggy, but no passing rain showers or anything like that. I think just some of this midsummer haze is starting to kind of settle down over the track, and it is a night race, so those lights hopefully don't get blocked off too much here to help allow these drivers to rip it around this racetrack. But otherwise, should be a good night full of racing, like you said there, with that nice and cool track temp. Definitely going to aid those grip levels here as well. Bringing us down to tonight's key to the race, though, man, it's gonna be, you gotta keep your eyes open there, eh? It's man, it's just gonna be very, very difficult to see what's happening ahead of you, not only due to traffic, but also because of this fog. And not only that, but man, I'd hate to be the leader here tonight, because if they don't have anything going on in front of them, they don't feel any pressure behind them, it's going to be pretty easy to get kind of lulled to sleep here. I mean, you get into that little bit of a groove. It's not too crazy long of a race, 133 laps, a good solid distance here, but man, just dark, kind of a little bit dreary. Man, it's pretty easy to start nodding off a little bit in that race chair. Yeah, that it is as qualifying up and underway, and we can kind of give you some views what these drivers are going to be looking at here today. Saw there as we were driving on the noses. I mean, thankfully they can at least see from one end of the straights back down to the other, but just looking at it here from our TV cameras set up around the stations around the racetrack, man, it's going to be kind of difficult to pick and choose who's out there, especially reading car numbers. Hopefully these drivers are going to be using their relative box to figure out who's actually around them here tonight. This is one of those nights where, man, a real life spotter might actually be a little bit of a hindrance. They may not be able to see everything. Hopefully their AI spotters are able to keep up with all the action here.
F3 button. Remember that, drivers. F3 button. If you get in doubt and wonder, oh, is there anyone around me? F3. Hit the F3 button. Thanks everybody for joining us over there in the YouTube chat. Albert and Edith out there for Team Anderson. Thank y'all for being here as always. Derek Welch out there saying, what's up, guys? Thank you for being here, buddy. Kathy Anderson, also for Team Anderson, is here. Taylor Provax saying, great night for racing in my favorite city. Let's go 33 and 16. Adam Turner out there watching with the googly eyes, also letting us know, hey, the music's still on.
Yeah, well, hold on. Hold your horses. We're still in qualifying.
We're taking care of that. But Lori Vaught saying, what's up, AAA and viewers? Thank you for being here, Lori. And Derek Welch says, if English was just talking, we didn't hear a thing. Uh-oh.
I don't know. Well, they definitely hear you now. I see the bar chart going.
All right, that thing's working.
Going crazy. So everything's working now, just like all these race trucks out there are really working out there tonight. As we go ahead and send everybody all setting on up into the race trucks, let's go ahead and tell everybody where their favorite driver is going to start here tonight. And up on pole position, it's going to be the one and only Mr. Timothy Pope, driver of the 7 machine. He's going to have the 75 of rookie here this season. Mr. Stoney Benfield starting right next to him. Jeremiah Burke, driver of the 53, got a really good start to his season here last week. He's going to be starting up here pretty high in the field in third. He's going to have the one of the Fight machine, Mr. David Fight, out there starting in fourth. Fifth place will belong to the 89 of Mr. Craig Goodenough, with the 8 of Dylan Bryant making his return to the VRL out there starting in sixth. The Milk Dud of Larry Dickerson in the 69 machine starting out in seventh, with the 68 of Dustin with an I, Dustin Wade, in eighth. Ninth goes to the other Dustin, but he spelt his with a Y, Mr. Dustin Eaton in the 14 machine starting in ninth. And rounding out your field starting top 10 is going to be Mr. John Gallagher, driver of the 123, really stepping up his game here this season. Just outside of this top 10, though, you got the 085 of Mr. Greg Dobson starting in 11th. Jason Gaines in the 83 machine. We got to hear from him kind of at the end of last week. He's going to start here tonight in 12th. Down into 13th we go with the 16 of Mr. Young Kyle Vaught. He's going to have the 2 of Russ Rocket Man Kilgore. Absolute pleasure to have Mr. Russ Kilgore back in action here tonight. He's going to be starting up there in 14th. The 13 of Andrew Player starting here tonight in 15th, with the 88 of Mike Adamson just to his outside in 16th. 99 of America's Driver starting in 17th here tonight, with the 33 of Jess Vaught going to be starting here tonight to his outside in 18th. Scott Roney in the 023 starting here in 19th, and rounding out your field's top half, the 56 of Mr. Benjamin Richards.
Austin Paul in the 3 machine starts in 21st place. Outside row number 11 here, Kelly Keel in the 01. 28 George McCone starts in 23rd. 24th will be John McAdam in the 47. The double nickel of Ricky Wittenberg starts in 25th place. 26th will be John Curtis in the 43 to his outside. The 10 of Andrew Cawthon starts in 27th place. 28th, Kevin Hunt in the 434. 29, Dave the Nickname Mayberry starts in 29th place. Imagine that. 30th place, Joe Canellis in the 11. One of the rookies here this year in VRL. 72 of Chan the Man. Chandler Paul starts in 31st. 32nd will be Jacob Young, the man with the mustache, in 77. Let's see. 81, Osborne starts 33rd. 34th, Trevor Robertson. Behind him, Sean McDonald, Zachary Hallinan, Mike Everidge, Darby Marrioth, Greg Klein, and Dion Jones.
And that will be your starting field here tonight as the pace car peels off down and into a pit road, which means it is time for the first time here tonight as the field enters that Geico restart zone. We go green flag racing, all stacked up side by side, sending it off down and running into turns 1 and 2. The 75 and the 7 started off side by side, but that high line not building up that momentum just yet, allowing the 53 of Jeremiah Burke to filter on up and through and into that second place. 75 of Stoney Benfield able to find a home there in third, but not before he is getting under attack by Mr. Craig Goodenough there in the 89. The Milk Dud Larry Dickerson finding himself in a bit of trouble here, going side by side with the 1 of David Fight. The 8 of Dylan Bryant looking very feisty here as well as the field comes back around, crosses that start finish line, and we are officially green flag racing all the way around lap number 1. Almost 3 wide right behind behind them. You got that 14 of Dustin with a Y. Looked like he might have tried to sneak it down low through the middle, but not quite able to do so. Not a super wide track, but it is wide enough for brief moments of some of that 3 wide action as the field continues to battle its way on around this racetrack. The 023 tucking in behind that 99 of Albert Anderson, making up a couple quick spots here already off of this restart. 56 Benjamin Richards down low, or excuse me, up on the high side here, trying to race against that 33 Mobile 1 machine of Mr. Jess Vaught, changing up the colors here tonight. Very weird to see Jess without that typical green paint scheme out there here this evening. 13 Andrew Player now being the next victim of the 56 machine's charge all the way up towards the front as Stoney Benfield runs fastest lap of the race, and we are knotted on up, battling side by side for this race lead.
Jess Vaught deciding that green might be bad luck after all here. Jillian out there saying rocket for Kelly in his hometown girls city of Chi-Town. And Lofi Evans, of course, pulling for Osborne out there. Chachi in the 81 machine wanting to make up some spots here from where he started, of course.
Man, it does look like early issues, though, for the 085 of Greg Dobson electing to tow to the pits. Well, it looks like a possible start in park here tonight for the 085, because it looks like he just jumped back out of the truck. I don't know if he might be having some connection or technical problems there as we go side by side here with the 81 and the 72 going into turns 1 and 2 before making their way down that not so back straightaway. Excuse me, I got my corners all mixed up here. They're now going across that start finish line. And that is how easy it is to get messed up around here, especially with this fog. You got that 10 of Andrew Cawthon going side by side right now with the 55 Ricky Wittenberg. Ricky trying to work some outside lane magic here as that 33 of Vaught now trying to get those wheels back rolling up underneath him and back up towards the front. 77 of the mustache man himself, Mr. Jacob Young, sees the 23 of Sean McDonald right there around him. And up in front of him, though, is the 72 and the 82 with the 6 as, ooh, John McAdam looks like he's having some connection issues as well as he drops through the field.
Beverly Anderson joining us here for Team Anderson as well. Yeah, man, it's getting kind of squirrely out there. The visibility is not very good. But yeah, I can see how you'd get lost. I mean, the backstretch, it's not really straight. I mean, there's still a little curve in it, so when you leave turn 2, it never really straightens out before you get back into turn 3 and 4. I feel you there, buddy.
Yeah, it's gonna be just one of those nights as the 1469 remains side by side. Up at the front, though, the 53 of Jeremiah Burke was able to get that pass completed on the 7 of Timothy Pope, and not only that, but the 75 of Stoney Benfield able to find his way to get around the 7 machine as well. And hearing from the 47 of John McAdam, not happy. Power outage at his
oh no,
racing studio there. So hopefully it comes back on here quick and he's able to jump back into it. I don't think he hit any walls or anything, just kind of blinked out. So shouldn't have any damage. It'll just be some laps down to try to make up. The 11, Joseph Canellis, trying to fight his way up through this field, going alongside that 55 Ricky Wittenberg. Of course, 11 racing a Ricky Wittenberg special paint scheme on there, all decked out with, I believe it's his wife's business.
Joe Canellis, one of the guys that went from a fan to a driver here. He's been with us in the YouTube chat during the VRL races, but now Joe in the number 11 out there racing with these guys here in this league, and man, does he have his hands full. There's so much talent in this league, and you talk to any of the guys, they're surprised every week if they finish in the top 10 just because it's so competitive out there.
Yeah, you're not kidding here. As a 33 of Just Fought continues his climb up this mountain, going alongside the 88 of Mike Adamson, trying to work that way up to the front even more and more. 01 Kelly Keel looking very Kelly-like here tonight. Just doing his thing and driving that race truck as best as he can. He's tucked in behind that 16 of young Kyle Vaught, who is up quite a few positions compared to that 29 of Dave Mayberry thus far here tonight. But not only that, but Kelly, he got his driver camera all working out there. And he's got himself one heck of a rig in a race room he's got going on. He's got quad screens, he's got banners and everything all waving around him. Man, he's got a heck of a setup out here as he watches the battle unfold up in front of him as he tries to make a move on the outside here and follow the 023 of Scott Roney on through.
Kelly Kill might be a bot, you know, because we've never seen him. He's such a good driver. He's one of the best pushers in any iRacing league that we've seen. So I always thought, well, Kelly might not be a real person. But there he is, flesh and blood on the driver cam here tonight at Chicagoland.
And glad to have you there with us, Kelly. Of course, we absolutely love it when these drivers kind of give us that little sneak peek into what they got going on around them and allow us to kind of show the driver behind the virtual racer. It's the 69 machine really under attack here. He's got that 2 Russ Kilgore up underneath him. Same thing with the 83 of Jason Gaines, all bottled up right next to each other here.
Love the side-by-side action that you get to see here at Chicagoland. The guys competing over which line's going to be the best. The outside line is just so dominant here. You carry so much more momentum here. It's not really worth running down real close to the grass or the border right there to the apron. At least I don't think, you know. Differing opinions are out there, but outside line, that's the where to go if you're disciplined enough to hang on to it. Put it by the wall.
Yeah, it's one of those, you know, kind of tricky things to really get right, but when you get it right, man, it'll work out for you. The problem is that outside wall, I swear, those safer barriers, they put magnets or something up in them because it just wants to suck those trucks right on in. As up here, up at the front, that 75 Stoney Benfield having some pressure here from the 7 and the 8, as well as the 89 of Craig Goodenough, all kind of pretty close and up and personal with each other. 53 Jeremiah Burke, not completely out of the picture yet, though, either. He's only a half second, not even up the road from these guys, so a very competitive field out here tonight. A whole bunch of fantastic driving as the 74 Zachary Hallinan trying to make some moves here on the 10 of Andrew Cawthon as they go side by side down that not so back straight.
Fun to see the new guys out there making an impact, and one of them is the 75 driver there, Stoney Benfield, having one heck of a race out here tonight, starting outside row number 1, maintaining that position here in second behind Jeremiah Burke, the cheer dad. That man, I tell you what, I wish he could have put in a couple more races last season and picked up that championship, but I mean, it is what it is. Family first, right? So.
Oh, absolutely.
Jeremiah's one hell of a race car driver, and we're so lucky to have him here at VRL and watch him race every week.
Hey,
almost every week.
Almost every week. He trusts us. Hey, there's been a couple of times where we've interviewed him up on that podium, and he's back in the car driving the girls to practice. So whatever gets the job done is up 7 spots on the day thus far. One of Canada's own, Mr. John Curtis, in that 43 machine, up 7 spots, up into 19th. Man, we've always said, man, if you can just make it up inside this top 20 in the VRL, you have accomplished something. And that's even more so now, especially with 20 drivers behind you here tonight. And all 20 of them, man, they're all super, super talented. I mean, Ricky Wittenberg, watch out for him on the strategery. He's gotten that stuff all nailed on down. You got Trevor Robertson, a former past champion, right now in 25th. Just kind of riding around, maybe saving a little bit of that rubber, trying to make this run last as long as he can, and maybe save an extra set or two here towards the end as the 74 Hallinan electing to come on down super early here on lap 22.
Yeah, a bold move there to come down this early. It's still way before these guys should be coming in at least by about 4 or 5 laps. But let's hand it to our Canadian drivers here tonight. You mentioned one of them, John Curtis in the 43, Sean McDonald in the 23, and the 085 Greg Dobson. Got to hand it to our Canadian drivers. They're freaking awesome drivers. We've been watching them here for a couple of years, and it's good to see them here competing so well here in VRL, and sometimes making all the Americans look dumb on the American tracks. I mean, it just happens sometimes.
Well, making them look silly. Silly. They wouldn't say dumb because they're Canadian. They would say silly.
Yeah, they probably would. I'm sorry.
But that does remind me, we are missing Jack the Ripper Dixon here tonight.
We are.
Yep. Bummer. That's this is one of those tracks that I think we would see him really perform well at these kind of not so cookie cutter mile and a halves that he's so very good at. As the 123 John Gallagher staying up inside this top 10 as he battles with the 69 of Larry Dickerson. We did see the 81 of Jonathan Osborne come on down and hit pit road. You know, these drivers are losing a lap when they come on down and in, but as the pit cycle continues to roll on, they'll eventually, hopefully, get that lap back. 68 of Dustin with an eye out there now battling with the 69 of Dickerson up here in 7th. Looks like Dickerson, after his kind of brief little fall there from the start of this race, fighting his way back up through these positions. I think he was more anticipating a longer run and saved up a little bit extra of that rubber, and he's really starting to kind of make his move now. Same thing with that 7 of Timothy Pope, caught back right on up to the back bumper here of the 53, and now he's looking on down to the inside, trying to take control of this race here once again.
Is this what we're going to see for the majority of the night? Green flag pit stops? Is this going to be the norm? Because all this does is create more green flag pit stops, because everyone is going to be more and more spaced out. I understand that we have a great car count out here today. We have 40 trucks out here. But dang, the more that they run down pit lane during the green, I mean, the more spaced out it's going to get. Am I wrong?
No, you're absolutely correct. But that also brings into fact, you know, some of the lap traffic here. With the more trucks out on the track, that means some of the drivers that may be just a little bit off pace, and they're going to start playing a factor into this thing as well. I mean, we saw it just the other night on Monday night, where lap traffic was a big part of the finish at Daytona for the Num Thumbs Racing League Next Gen Series. That was a crazy and wild finish there. That was a flag to flag run at Daytona. As man, this 7 really taking his time here trying to pass this 53. Hopefully, almost making contact as they both drift up the racetrack.
Take your time, do it right. I think he's on his way. He knows what he's doing. He's done this a time or two.
Yes.
Laurie Vaughn out there in the chat saying thank you to Taylor for being here, and the Anderson family in the house here tonight.
As Pope finally gets that move all finished on up. Let's take a ride here with Lieutenant Andrew Cawthon, who's, man, he's found himself in a full beehive of activity just as he's about ready to come on down into pit lane. I think this is a great call here for Cawthon, who may not necessarily needed to come into the pits just yet, but we did see Burke, Gallagher, Benfield, Kilgore, Keel, Jones, and Klein all make their way on down into their pit boxes. Probably a good move because he was starting to run into a little bit of traffic issues there himself. And so why not open up some free track and hit those pit boxes?
Every single guy in the field just queued up on the radio saying, pitting in, pitting in, pitting in. And everybody's stepping on each other. Yeah, the radio's a mess, but like everybody coming down in the trucks.
Radio's a mess, and so is pit road. Timothy Pope, Craig Goodenough, Bryant Dickerson, Fight High, you know the field. Everybody coming on down and in and topping up on that racing fuel, other than Jason Gaines and Andrew Player electing to stay out at least one more lap here. Trying to make the most out of this run, and most of this
yellow's out.
Free and open track as, yellow flag comes out.
Gonna trap a bunch of people a lap down maybe here.
Yeah,
what happened?
That's a possibility. I'm looking to see. Oh no, the 01 of Kelly Keel. We just shouted him out. And his engine is smoking. No, Kelly. We were just congratulating him because he was doing a heck of a job out there and joining us with that driver cam, making his way back out onto the track and just getting a little loose. It is very flat on that apron, up into the racetrack and into the 56 machine. Absolutely clobbers him. The 56 Benjamin Richards, really nowhere to go. I don't think he recognized that the one was going to be slipping and sliding up the track. I think he saw him getting loose, but there goes Kelly up the track, and the 56 just, oh goodness gracious, we need a couple of ambulances for that one.
I don't like laughing at stuff like that, but golly, that was definitely unexpected. It was unexpected for the 56 for sure. It's like, oh my god, what's happening? And he's upside down.
Let's go ahead and take a ride here with the 56 as it was happening up on the roof cam. And yeah, you can see the 01, and then it just came up the track. He just couldn't quite react in time because he was just coming out of turn number 2. And you can see as he tries to turn down the 01 up into the outside wall, and just bam. Oh man. Oh, that is heartbreak for the 56 and the 01, especially with this no fast repairs. I believe that is going to be ringing the bell there for them, and they're going to have to throw them up on the haulers.
Yeah, we've got 2 black flags right now, meatball flags to be specific. The 56 of Benjamin Richards and the 01 of Kelly Kill. That's it. Only flags out there on the field.
Yeah, well, this will get everybody all re-racked and stacked up. However, here on lap number 33, looks like the 74 Zachary Hallinan with the very early pit stop is going to gain control of this restart. He's going to have the 83 of Jason Gaines, 13 of Andrew Player, 7 of Timothy Pope, all lined up right there behind him. So by the looks of it here, Mr. English, doesn't look like too many people got trapped that lap down. Looks like maybe Dion Jones getting stuck a lap down here, but
I thought it happened a lot later. Or, I'm sorry, a lot earlier than it did. I guess a lot of the guys had already come down and hit their box, so I was worried about 1 or 2 guys coming down when it came out, trapping a bunch of other people, but obviously it didn't happen, so a bunch of folks got their service done early enough.
Yeah, and again, it was just a little strange on the timing, and we did just see like a good majority of the field, basically 85% of the field hit their pit boxes there, so like you said, I think everybody was just coming down and in, and it just so happened to be right at the right time that no one really getting stuck that one lap down, as it looks like a whole mass of wave arounds is starting to kind of get everybody all lined on up. It's going to take a second for everything to kind of figure itself out. I'm sure this caution will be extended just to make sure everyone gets stacked up in where they need to be as we get closer and closer to returning to green flag racing. But a fantastic start to this race here, Mr. English. A nice long run, seeing some green flag pit stops come into play here. Some strategy here early coming into play. I'm excited where this race is going to be headed to.
And we're just getting started too. You know, we're what, about a quarter of the way through here now. As we're waiting on wave rounds, and they added another lap of caution just to get everybody straightened out here. Good move by the admins here.
And again, it's just... Oh, go for it.
I was going to say we're going to restart here with about 37, lap 37 probably.
Something like that. As yeah, the field gets away from everything's getting a little wonky, and where people are starting is starting to kind of change itself on up. But the lights on the pace car do eventually turn off, which means we get ready to head on back to this green flag. It will actually be the 7 of Timothy Pope and the 8 of Dylan Bryant restarting up here, up at the front. Jason Gaines, Albert Anderson, David Fight, Larry Dickerson, Andrew Player, Craig Goodenough, Mike Adamson, and Zachary Hallinan making up your current top 10. How about that 7-4 Zachary Hallinan with that early pit stop, up 27 positions on the day, as it looks like even more shakeup happening.
Yeah, they just added another lap of caution. So, trying to get everybody lined up in the right spot so nobody gets cheated out of a position or anything here.
Yeah, it is very, very difficult. iRacing does as good as it can to communicate its intentions on where drivers need to be and all that kind of stuff. But you know how many times you've gotten that like wave around to get back onto that lead lap, and then it's telling you to pass this guy, but don't pass that guy, and then pass this guy and don't pass that guy. It can become a little troublesome out there.
Yeah, and they're trying to get it right. That's one thing about this league. They always try to get it right. And if they have to burn another lap of caution to try to get everybody lined up right, they're going to do it. So, makes sense to me.
Yeah, that it does as the lights on the pace car turn off, and it looks like the field is going to be restarting this one single file, as I think just about everybody getting that wave around from the pace truck in that freebie lap back. That is a end of the longest line. It just so happens that the end of the longest line is going to be a single line here.
It's behind everybody else in the same line.
So as everybody,
It's like that long.
I don't know. It's it can get pretty extended out here with 37 trucks back out there, out on the track, and everybody filtering back into their spots as the Congo line procession follows behind the pace truck, who finally dives back on down and in, which means it is time to head on back to green flag racing here, as the 7 followed by the 8 and the 99 head on off and running into turns 1 and 2. Everybody starting to scatter here a little bit, trying to find that run, find that momentum as the 8 starts to reel in that 7 machine just a little bit more and more, heading on down the back not so straight away, as the 8 with a whole boatload of momentum and a little bit of help from some drafting help gets that 8 machine up alongside the 7 machine as they go side by side, battling for the race lead. Back down and across the line, 8 stealing the lead away from the 7 of Timothy Pope, 28 of George Kahn, and 6 of Trevor Robertson battling side by side. And we also got the 16 of Kyle Vaught going side by side right now with the 14 of Dustin with a Y, battling for some almost top 10 positions just behind the 33 of Jess Vaught out there. 89 Craig Goodenough looking down low, trying to stay away from that 69 machine of Larry Dickerson as the green flag waves and waves and waves, and we go running here from Chicagoland as Timothy Pope regains control of the lead, leapfrogs back over the 8 machine, and he does so by setting the fastest lap of the race. And that's just what happens when you start to poke the Pope bear. He will definitely fight back. 53 of Jeremiah Burke battling alongside the 81 Jonathan Osborne, Dickerson and Adamson going at it side by side. Ooh, hard contact there with the wall for the 81 of Osborne. 33 of Jess Vaught kind of saw it coming and moved way down low to that apron line through the tri-oval to try to avoid any slowdowns or anything like that, and he's going to slide right up in front of that 81 of Osborne.
Papa Anderson out there joining us, saying Albert's moving on up. Go get him, son. Yeah, a lot of action out there here on the track on this foggy Wednesday afternoon, or evening, I should say.
Yeah, with a not so NASCAR, more Indy-like restart. It was actually kind of interesting to see how that restart went there. Normally, you know, used to seeing the side-by-side, but with everything starting single file, that gave drivers a little bit of that extra room needed to maybe make some moves here off of that restart as the 123 moves down low, trying to get around that Baker Ford 2 machine of Russ Kilgore. 023, Scott Roney making moves there as well. Sorry, buddy.
I was going to say, these guys, I know they miss this track. And I know a lot of real-life NASCAR drivers probably miss racing this track in real life since they don't really run here anymore. Chicagoland Speedway. It's a shame, man. Cool track.
It really is, as the 82 just kind of became the meat in the sandwich there for a split second between the 75 and looks like the 68 of Dustin with an eye, but able to slip on through it is the 82 of Mike Evers. Chan the man out there in the 72 machine, looking very strong up into 24th right now, battling alongside the 92 of Greg Klein. Klein trying to make some moves back up through this field as here comes that 6 Trevor Robertson, eyes on the 16 as he tries to get a pass on his ain't dead yet teammate here.
A bunch of guys that have made a bunch of passes out there here tonight. Jonathan Osborne so far up 23 spots to sit there in 10th position. So far your hard charger here right behind him. Trevor Robertson in that 6 machine that you just mentioned. Great job by these guys moving up through the field under green.
Yeah. 13 Andrew Player making a move on the Darby 42 machine. Oh, getting a little bobbly there for the 42 as they made their way down and around the turns 3 and 4, but able to keep that nose pointed up in the right direction as the 69 and the 33 goes to battle up inside of this top 10. They stay side by side, almost trading a little bit of paint there. Dylan Bryant able to get a big run here and get that lead back from the 7 machine here once again. Of course, Albert Anderson sitting here watching this, just kind of licking his chops, seeing all the side-by-side going on around him. There was a side-by-side happening behind him, side-by-side happening in front of him. He's like, hey, man, you guys can keep it up. Keep burning up that rubber. I'm just going to sit here and let this Folgers machine drink some coffee and just kind of ride this one on out for a time here.
Yeah, the caffeine car there, the 99 truck of Albert Anderson, up 14 spots. He's sitting there in 3rd, so no slouch at all. He's definitely been moving up. Feel as he can.
But you can definitely also tell that some of this side-by-side's been affecting some of these drivers, as there's about a 1.5 second gap between the 53 of Jeremiah Burke in 7th and there in 8th, the 33 of Jess Vaught. That gap is slowly starting to tick down now that some of the fighting is over, but not for that 53 of Burke as he continues to try to sneak around that 88 of Mike Adamson here. going battling side by side. One of David Fight with a fantastic run here thus far, still up inside of that top 5. He can see that 89 of Craig Goodenough and 99 of Anderson up there in front of him. 3 of Austin Paul also having a fantastic night as he goes battling alongside that 16 of young Kyle Vaught.
Fun to see these guys mix it up and really race clean. Nobody wants to wreck each other, especially not even halfway through the race here.
As we just tick over that lap 50 mark, and I know we had quite a few caution laps here, so it's going to be interesting to see where drivers elect to come on down for their next round of pit stops. I got a feeling they're probably going to try to push this out past 65, probably, with how many caution laps that we did run here, Mr. English, that they were able to save up a little bit of that extra fuel. Or who knows, maybe some of these drivers just going to try to stick with their strategy with what they had going on and just pit like normal.
Sometimes you just got to stick with your game plan. If you start overthinking it, that's when you can kind of screw up, and you're going to leave something out, or you're going to forget to check a box or uncheck a box. Stick with your plan here, I think. Trust your intuition.
Nice. We take a quick little ride here with the 11 of Joseph Canellis, up 11 on the day, up inside this top 20 right now in 19th. He's got that 55 Ricky Wittenberg up in front of him, and it's got a pretty good view of the battle between Kyle Vaught, Russ Kilgore, and that 3 of Austin Paul there, continuing to kind of go back and forth as, oh man, the 3 looking very spicy out there. I will say I was not made aware of it until post-race here last week. There was a team change, and it's one that has kind of shaken up the field here a little bit. The 3 of Austin Paul replacing the driver's seat for the 84 of Bittner on Ain't Dead Yet, and separating himself from his brother there of the 72 of Chandler Paul. So the Paul brothers separating for a time here.
It's a family feud. Well, I'm sure they'll still help each other when they're allowed to.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that's interesting. The Paul brothers on separate teams now.
Yeah, from what I heard, the decision was or the contract was officially signed about 20 minutes before the race here last week. So it was a last minute signing, and the 3 of Austin Paul trying to show the Ain't Dead Yet captains here that he's here to race and pick up some wins.
So if Bittner's not racing Ain't Dead Yet, does he have his own race team now, or what's the story there? Have you heard the silly season update?
No, I've heard that Bittner just has a lot going on. He's got a real life race car now. He's trying to
sure.
Trying to get some big life milestone kind of moments up and underway. So wishing nothing but our good buddy there of the Track Dogs Racing team and the owner and all that the best on his excursions out into the real world here and away from iRacing for a time. But don't you worry, I'm sure he'll be back as soon as possible as the 55 and the 123 go battling side by side down into turns 1 and 2 here. John Gallagher having a fantastic run here tonight thus far as he drifts up the track. Oh man, 55 Wittenberg. Whether he wanted to or not, he was heading up in front of that 123 machine.
Yeah, I think contact might have been unavoidable.
It's the 2 machine. Russ Kilgore making his way on down into pit lane here on lap 58. So I think most of these drivers going to be electing to stay relatively close to what their originally stated strategy was going to be. It's the 89 machine has the one of David fighting up underneath him here for a little bit, and they're going side by side. 88 of Mike Adamson is up there with them.
That's the thing about strategy, though. If you're committed to your strategy in the pit lane, and then all of a sudden, the leader and a few other folks start pitting in, you start to second guess it, and next thing you know, you're down there too, messing with your own strategy because you're starting to second guess yourself. We've seen that many races. I've done that myself. Like, well, if the leader's doing it, I should probably do it too.
Yeah, but I mean, we talk about it quite a bit here. As the 92 and the 11 go side by side with the 75 of Stoney Benfield trying to fight his way back up to the front here, trying to get some big time positions gained. But sometimes the strategy is just trying to do what the others aren't, and trying to change it up.
You're right.
Because I mean, sometimes you might be mired in some traffic here. As the 53 Jeremiah Burke finds his way on down into pit road here pretty early on lap 61.
If you're far back enough in the field, bottom half at least, bottom third, and you see these people pit stopping outside of your strategy, yeah, sometimes doing the opposite, that might be the thing to do. Here we go. Pit stops are happening. 77 of Young calling it out on the radio, leading with his lip brow.
Man, I'll be disappointed if at some point that Canes truck doesn't have a giant mustache up on that hood here at some point this season. Man, as the 77 finds his way on down into pit road. 33 Just Vaught joining him. Same thing with that 42 of Darby Marriott, making some green flag pit stops and adjustments here as the 7 of Timothy Pope continues to lead the way, clear by about half second over the 8 of Dylan Mad Max Bryant. 99 of Albert Anderson, up 14 spots on the day, still hanging around there in third. He's about a second clear of where fourth and David Fight is, because he's been fighting a bunch of traffic out there. Craig Goodenough, Adamson, Dickerson, and Robertson all in a tight little grouping out there as Timothy Pope makes his dive on down into pit road. Same thing with that 89 of Goodenough. I think Goodenough probably saw, like, hey, if Tim's coming down, I know Tim's a pretty dang good racer. I think I'm going to follow him on in. 16 of Kyle Vaught, Gallagher, Paul of the Austin variety, Jason Gaines, Andrew Cawthon, Mike Everidge, Greg Klein, all making their way on into the box. So second round of green flag pit stops up and underway. Dylan Bryant will inherit the lead here as the 1 of David Fight trying to get on down into pit road, getting past while doing it. The 69 taking a very aggressive stance. 99 getting aggressive on pit road.
Yeah, passing somebody on the outside while they're trying to pit. We're going to see who gets slammed for speeding there. I don't see any flags yet.
Oh, and Chandler Paul having an issue out there. No yellow just yet. I'm trying to find Chandler. Looks like he might have slipped and slid his way on down into the pits. Let's go ahead and take a look back and watch what happened to Chan the man, making that hard transition onto the apron in the kind of in the middle of turn number 4. Very difficult pit road entrance here. Yeah, just getting slippy and slidey down there. Didn't hit anything, just locked it up in time. Didn't crash into the cones or anything like that. Just a little bit of a slick entrance there for the 72 machine.
It doesn't take much, to upset that truck. That angle, that difference in angle of banking between the apron and the track is enough to do it. Caution's out. We got a yellow. I don't see what it's for there, Brown.
Oh, the 72 on exit here. Oh no.
Oh man.
Chandler Paul just having a rough go of these green flag pit stops here.
We're just talking about it, the transition there, and it looks like that might have been what got him ate up there. Yahtzee.
Yeah, doesn't look like the transition, just looks like that flat part of the apron on the pit road exit, just very similar to that 01 of Kelly Keel. Getting that 72 loose. Didn't drift up the track, hit anything, or really slide through the grass all that bad. But once again here in the middle of green flag pit stops, causing a little bit of extra chaos and there's a little bit of games out here as we make our way down and around. And of course, the yellow flag coming out just as we were passing that halfway point here as well. Oh man, I don't exactly know who got it, but that is worth some bonus points there, and that is very important. So I don't know who stayed out, who remembered that. Hey, that halfway point's coming up. I could sneak in a couple extra points here tonight if I stay on out. So we'll have to wait and see what the official decision is here as the race report comes on out later this week. 13 Andrew player making a freebie pit stop here as everybody makes their way back around the racetrack and gets lined up to to head on back to some green flag racing. And Lori, I don't blame you, Lori. That one's just one of those too close to call moments of who got what, and unfortunately, these green flag the drivers here tonight having fantastic racing, but I guess maybe some practice on these green flag pit stops might be needed for the upcoming weeks. But the racing has been fantastic here tonight. So we get ready to slowly make our way back to some green flag laps. Of 53 of Jeremiah Burke looks like he will be leading the way with the 81 Jonathan Osborne, 7 of Timothy Pope, 8 of Dylan Brandt, and the 33 of Jess Vaught. Through some strategy that he's running, man, it's working out for him as he continues to move up spots on these cautions. So we're all having a wonderful night, of course, with all you guys joining us out there. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell so you get alerted every single time that we go live. And of course, if you enjoy it, be sure to hit that thumbs up button. That way the YouTube algorithm lets us share even more and more fantastic racing with the rest of the YouTube community, and we can continue to grow this awesome family that we have over here. And I do apologize, Lori. I side with the wonderful Mr. Jess Vaughn out there that green is in fact the best color.
All right, buddy, I'm back.
Welcome back, buddy. We slowly get our way back settled into some side-by-side here, getting ready to head on back to the green flag, getting some last-minute wave rounds back in, and everybody trying to catch back up to that pace truck.
Like another lap of caution added to get everybody sorted out here.
Evan Elosh saying, well-timed caution for Osborne, liking the early pit strategy. Man, it's been a pretty solid call. That's what's been helping out that 33 of Jess Vaught make up a good chunk of the 13 positions he's made up thus far to sneak back up inside of that top 5. That's some of these strategies are definitely working out for some drivers out here.
Yeah, 31 trucks still on the lead lap here. Joe Canellis, one of our newcomers here in the 11 truck. bringing up the rear here on the lead lap. Darby Marriott right there with him.
Yeah, not too bad. Then you got Dustin Wade, Chandler Paul, and Jacob Young all fighting for that lucky dog position out there. Sean McDonald's going to try to make his way back out of the pits here and join that fight as well. So good bunch of stuff going on out there. As the 53 and the 81 get all lined on up. 31 spots gained for that 81 of Jonathan Osborne as we get ready for the green flag out here tonight.
Papa Albert's concerned that aliens might have gotten at him. No, he's just at a work conference thing up in Tulsa. He's alive and well. I've made contact with him today just to make sure that it wasn't an abduction of some kind. He's good.
It is an abduction. It's an abduction of Crown bottles from the hotel lobby bar. As we go back to green flag racing, as the 53 and the 81 get things started off here side by side, off and running into turns 1 and 2. You got the side by side action here with the 8 as well going up alongside the 33 and the 7 as it starts to shuffle around here once again. Back to 2 wide racing. 833, 781. Jeremiah Burke very pleased to see this fighting happening right there behind him. And then not too far back after that, you got that too. Russ Kilgore trying to fight his way up through this top 10, looking to the outside of the one of David fight before tucking back into a line. It is a beehive of activity up here, up at the front. Ooh, the 81 of Osborne getting a little snug up there. Drifts way up the track and into the wall. A little twitchy there for the 81 machine.
Ooh, yeah, and he's scrubbing up against it. Hopefully he can stay up there and let the field pass. Ooh, rough luck there for the 81.
And losing quite a few positions, but that outside wall is no joke as he finds a spot in behind that one machine. Some good battles here, going 3 wide with the 13 stuck in the middle. 74 and the 16 all up in there. Same thing with the 68 of Mr. Dustin with an eye. Dustin Wade trying to fight his way back up through some of this field, able to make it last as the 75 Stony Benfield down into the infield grass keeps it straight. He's going to lose quite a bit of time and quite a bit of speed out there. Thankfully able to get down and out of the way. Man, let's watch what happened to Stoney, because he got snagged up with the 83. Oh goodness gracious, that could have been a caution here as the 83 and 75 kind of morphed into each other. 75 hard up into the outside wall, taking off that front clip before getting on down into the grass. Thankfully, he didn't have very far to go to get to his box, but unfortunately there, he's going to have to get some repairs done for that machine before he can come back to racing out here.
I heard the engine blow up sound, and Stony Benfield has a meatball flag.
Oh no!
Putting that together, that's probably his motor that blew up.
That's a real bummer. Stoney was having a fantastic night here tonight, running quite a few laps up inside of that front group here with the first couple of runs that we've had, as the 99 of Anderson and the 1 of David fight go battling side by side. Pope regains the lead over the 53 of Jeremiah Burke. Oh goodness gracious, the race is still just hot, just like the 43, 023, 316, all with a whole bunch of action here. 29 Dave Mayberry making the pass up underneath that 16 of Kyle Vaught. So bookkeepers, mark that one down and be prepared to collect your money as Anderson continues to battle up here towards the front, kind of losing a few positions here. It's the 14 of Dustin with a Y makes a pass around the outside of America's driver before having to get checked up. Ooh, almost got into the back of the one machine.
Earl Evans says, "Let's go Chachi." Thank you for being here, Earl. Derek Welch says, finally ordering my new wheel and pedals. Should be back on the track soon. One day, might even be racing with VRL, maybe. Oh, a little foreshadowing maybe here. Derek Welch, maybe racing in 2 leagues here. And Lofi Evans saying, every time you have said Russ Kilgore, I thought you were saying Russ Endicott. Different nights throw us off too, man.
Yeah, you
Big time.
You are
It happened.
not kidding. There's the 123 and the 13 go battling side by side. I am happy to report that the 01 of Kelly Keel is back out there on the racetrack. Same thing with the 47 of John McAdam, able to get that power restored and back out onto the racing surface. So far though, only looks like 2 disconnections here. 75 is Tony Benfield and the 56 of Benjamin Richards. Calling it a night here thus far. So 38 trucks still battling and are racing around out here, out on the racetrack. As man, this battle right around Albert just continues and continues to heat up.
Everybody trying to fight for every inch right now, even though there's a lot of racing left here to go. 50 laps remain. They're fighting like there's 10 to go, which is good. We like that here.
Oh, we love it.
We like that at AAA.
Oh yes, we absolutely love it. As the 53 of Jeremiah Burke trying to hold off a big charge here from the 89 of Craig Goodenough. Has been having a fantastic night out here tonight. Kind of stuck a couple laps down, but sees some good action going on around him. Is one of our good buddies to the north, the 085 Greg Dobson, starting to make some passes as he tries to filter through the 42. Ooh, bobbing and weaving his way through some of this traffic for the 085, and he takes a brief little moment to breathe there for a second.
You gotta do that, man. You gotta breathe a little bit during the race. If you stop breathing, you're gonna end up a casualty in the outside wall or taking out some other drivers. So yes, continue to breathe, Greg.
Yes, most definitely.
In through the nose, out through the mouth, as they say.
43 John Curtis looking down low on the 74 Zachary Hallinan. 29 Dave Mayberry looking to do the same as the 023 machine. Ooh, he's having some connection issues now as he's kind of in the middle, 3 wide. 55 Ricky Wittenberg down on the bottom. I think yeah, Ricky recognizes the blinking 023 machine, and it's trying to leave him a little bit of extra room because you never know when and where he's gonna pop back in. And it actually almost got very close there as they were making their way down the backstretch. But right up in front of them, going 3 wide, Kyle Vaught, Dave Mayberry in the 74, as Jonathan Osborne sticking with that early pit strategy, comes on down and in here once again to pit road.
Yeah, he's sticking with it. I heard him call it out on the radio, and I said, well, here he comes again. Sticking with that strategy, and it's working for him here so far. As we get closer to the end, we're going to see whose strategies are going to work out and whose are going to be thrown out the window.
Right, man. So here's the problem I'm seeing here. English is, most of these drivers last pitted lap 63, 64, 65, a couple outliers there last pitting lap 67. But if they come in right around that 30 lap mark that we've been seeing, they're not going to make it on fuel. They're going to still need probably a splash and go here at the end.
Yeah, they're going to have to wait till I don't know, lap 110. Lap 110 is probably your golden area where you'll be a little bit closer.
Yeah, I would say probably 105 guarantees you safety. but
Yeah.
that's not
With the
including.
green white checker.
Yeah, so yeah, the 110, you're correct there. As the 55-74 continuing to battle it on out as the 14 and the 1 trade positions there briefly as the 33 at Jess Vaught tries to stay high on the high line as the 8 of Dylan Bryant looks like he's trying to make a move down on the bottom. Just not able to get the run coming out of the corner. The 33 did a fantastic job kind of blocking that middle part of the racetrack, preventing the 8 from drifting up. As here comes the 53 of Jeremiah Burke down and into pit road. It's the 123 of Timothy Pope just said, we'll see you guys later. I'm going to go try to get this checkered flag as he's about a 2.25 seconds up in front of the 89 of Craig Goodenough right now. Trying to stay way out in front of this field. Be interesting to see what happens on this next round of green flag pit stops to see if any more oopsies happen and a caution flag comes out.
Clean air, right? I mean, as long as you're running out there and you don't have lap traffic in front of you and you can run wherever you want to on the track, that's the biggest advantage right here, I think. Tim Pope in the 7 showing us how it's done out there. Running in clean air, running the fastest line.
See.
This is a clinic. I hope everybody's taking notes here.
Take a ride here with the 77 of the Mustache Man himself as the 81 of Jonathan Osborne returns to the racetrack. Glad to see the Mustache Man out in force here once again. Also joined by the 68 of Dustin with an eye, Dustin Wade, up on the driver cam here this evening, putting in some good laps.
Love to see a young fellow with a big soup saver there, flavor saver, what do you want to call it? He's soup strainer. That's what it's. The soup strainer or the flavor saver. We'll let the driver of the 77, Jacob Young, make that call.
Yeah, well, and as we transition from him to a guy who's wearing a hat there in Dustin Wade to a guy that doesn't have a lot of hair on his head, the 92, Mr. Greg Klein. Ooh,
I've never seen him wear a hat either, ever. Greg doesn't own a hat.
Oh no, he does. He owns.
Does he really?
Yeah, he's a big Dallas Cowboys fan, and I know he's got at least one, if not multiple, Cowboys ball caps that he wears.
He's so serious on the camera too. Look at his face.
He's focused, man. He's driving.
It's like he's doing brain surgery or something, you know?
I mean, he's trying to put liquid paper on a bee.
Yeah. Beat laboratory.
It's 69, Larry Dickerson watches the 33 of Jess Vaught makes his way on down into pit road. 14 in the 99 going to follow him on in. Again, just going to be a little short on that fuel. Even with a caution here, I don't think is going to be enough. I think we're going to have to wait and see some splash and goes here towards the end as the 8 of Dylan Bryant makes a pass on the 89 machine of Craig Goodenough. I think Goodenough just is trying to set up a pit stop here, and in fact that is exactly what he is doing. Trevor Robertson, David Fite is going to join him down onto pit road. No extra excitement there on pit road as the 43 John Curtis also makes his dive on down and in. Anderson can see there on his way back out of the pits, but the 123 John Gallagher's got the 55 Ricky Wittenberg, 74 Zachary Hallinan all over that back bumper, and this is where we kind of see a little bit of chaos as this blending. New tires, old tires, full fuel, no fuel, drivers trying to come in, drivers trying to come out. This is where the drivers make the big bucks.
Yeah, this is where you get guys running completely different speeds, and we're talking, 15, 20 miles an hour. That makes a lot of difference. If you've ever been driving 60 in the right-hand lane and somebody comes up on you doing 75, that's a big difference in speed, and that's what these guys are seeing here on the track now as we've got guys blending in and out. from these pit stops.
I mean, you just saw there the 14 of Dustin with a Y just split the 74 straight in two there as he was battling with the 55 Ricky Wittenberg. 6 machine Trevor Robertson also trying to filter on by here, as well as the green flag laps continue to tick away. 8 of Dylan Bryant trying to push this all the way as far as he can to try to make it to the very end here tonight. Let's see, he comes back down and crosses that line. Lap 99 out of 133. The drivers have been putting on one fantastic of a show. Dickerson, Gaines, and Hunt now down into pit road. So we just have to sit here and wait and see where some of these drivers kind of filter back on out. As 72 of Chan the Man out there out on the racetrack trying to make some good runs. As he's up into the outside wall. Oh goodness, hard contact there for the 72 machine.
Next week we're going to see some more low banking, at least in most of the turns here, as the guys are going to Pocono.
Ooh,
holy moly, that's a trigger word for Adam.
yeah. Oh,
Pocono.
You know we're gonna have to sedate him to get him to that track. He's got some
probably
some bad memories
like,
there.
The A-Team, you know, whenever they had to go somewhere and they had to fly, they always had to sedate Mr. T. That's what we're gonna have to do to Adam. Can't tell him we're going to Pocono next week. We're just gonna have to put him to sleep. He's gonna wake up there and go, what the hell are you fools doing? That's what's gonna happen.
I'm sure he's probably already saying that now. It's a 13 Andrew Player yet to come on down into pit road. Same thing with the 28 of the ever so sneaky George Rincon in the middle of some traffic here. He does have the bottom line, so if he wants to come on down into the pits as he sees some of these drivers with those fresh tires and fresh fuel tanks out there in front of him. But it looks like the 28 machine of Rincon going to try to push this as far as he can. He last pitted back on lap 68, so he can go just that little bit extra further here, as we're now on lap 102, going on to lap 103 with Rincon there in the lead. If he can make it just 1 or 2 extra laps here, there's a chance that Rincon can possibly steal himself away a win just by sheer endurance here, as he does in fact finally come on down into pit road.
I ain't getting on no plane, Hannibal. Is that better for you there?
Oh, that was fantastic.
Amanda? That was pretty good. But yeah, Adam definitely remembers turn 2 at Pocono, and there's no getting around it. Andrew Player, driver of the 13, black flag. That is not what Player wanted to see here at pretty much the last stop, maybe second to last stop of the race here.
And it looks like it was a speeding on the way in, so thankfully getting that done now, he does not have to make his way back around the racetrack to serve that penalty, as the 023, 123, and the 68 go battling here, and some good side-by-side action happening. Same thing up with the 8 of Dylan Bryant, 1 of David Fight, all up in some good racing action there. Jeremiah Burke holding on to the lead right now. 7 of Timothy Pope in chase, and then Pope is quite a bit clear, about 3 seconds clear of that 33 of Jess Vaught, up 15 spots on the day here tonight, making a good recovery after some unfortunate incidents that he was involved in last week, able to fight back here tonight and try to get up onto this podium. He's got the 14 of Dustin with a Y and the 6 of Trevor Robertson, very close to him on that back bumper. And then not too far back, about 2 seconds, almost 3 seconds back, is Jonathan Osborne, Albert Anderson, and Russ Kilgore, all battling it out with the 69 of Dickerson, making some charge here, as well as the 29 of Mayberry going side by side with the 3 of Austin Paul.
Love seeing Mayberry in the blue Fox Properties number 29. It's out there holding his own in that Chevrolet. Oh! Oh no! Had a wreck right beside him. Yellow's out. That's Joe Canellis going upside down. Holy crap!
Oh my!
Right
goodness.
when we were watching Dave.
Oof, Dave definitely wiping the brow after that one, and oh man, unfortunately for George Rincon, that is probably what he did not want to see here. As looks like the 11 machine just getting a little loose. Let's go ahead and jump on up to our chopper. Did have to go to a drone because the pilot is not allowed to fly in this fog here tonight, and just man. Getting collected up there with the 3 of Austin Paul. Kind of slow this one down. Just looks like, oh man, just the slightest of contacts there to that just very edge of the bumper of the 11 and the 3 there, which got the 11 all sideways. And then, man, I don't know what iRacing did to these trucks, as also see the 52 go for a little spin up into the outside wall. Ooh, that was a hard impact there himself. But I've been noticing here lately in these trucks, I've been seeing a whole bunch more air get up underneath them and seeing more trucks go flying.
So have they disabled the roof flaps and the hood flaps and all that? Because you've seen more trucks going over than we used to. I've noticed that too, man. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
I mean, it does make for some spectacular wrecks. I will acknowledge that. But,
sure.
You know, at the same time, though, it's you know, a lot of these drivers on some of these wrecks that wouldn't normally flip over, maybe hit the wall and kind of do some spinning, and they're now getting some heavy roof and all around damage.
I guarantee you, Joe Canellis didn't mean to drive up into anybody, and the 3 machine, he was just trying to hold his line and try to figure out where to go there. I don't think there was any ill intent at all by either driver. That was just one of those things that happens. But it will be remembered probably by both drivers. That's the nature of the beast.
That indeed it was, as we get everybody all re-racked and stacked here for a final push. Quite a few drivers making use of this kind of freebie fuel top-off spot as we're closing in inside of the final 25 laps left to go here from Chicagoland here tonight. It's been an action-packed race indeed, and we ain't done yet here, English. We still got a good amount of racing left.
Yeah, I got my heating pad on. I smell like half a tube of icy hot. But I'm good. I'm sticking it out with you guys here. Lori Vaught is here pulling for Earl. Playing favorites out there. And Klein. For Sweet Klein, she says. Ah, I see how it is. Lori Vaught runs one hell of a league here with Jess at VRL, and wait for next week. Pocono's going to be the bomb. That track is amazing, and this league that does so well of keeping the drivers in check, but still allowing them to go out there and have a great time. Pocono's going to be the highlight of the season here, I think. Let's see.
we're just
Pretty confident, though. Pretty confident.
yes, as we get everybody all stacked up and ready behind that pace truck. It's going to be the 74 and the 83, Hallinan and the Gaines restarting up here at the front. Hallinan up 34 spots on the day as here we go. Pace truck getting down and out of the way. Geico restart zone they go, and green flag racing we go once again as they battle side by side down the front, not so straight away, and into turns 1 and 2, not wasting any time. It's that 53 of Jeremiah Burke making use of those fresh tires and all of that, trying to battle his way around the outside. He's got the 8 of Dylan Bryant not too far behind him. He's pushing the 74 as hard as he can as the 7 of Timothy Pope just lies there and waits and waits and waits for an opening. The 43 is in a hot battle as we're going 3 wide right behind him. 33 of Just Fought, 55 Ricky Wittenberg, 83 of Jason Gaines down across that start-finish line. The 33 trying to fight back through some of this traffic as that 53 of Jeremiah Burke not able to complete the pass and the run here on the 74 of Hallinan.
Oh, Anderson's around. Backwards.
Anderson is backwards, and the yellow flag returns to the track.
Dustin with the Y. Dustin Eaton also involved in that. And the 81 of Osborne.
Sweet.
A few more, too.
Jump.
Those are just the 3 that I saw.
So we jump back up to our
Stacked up.
chopper camera here. It was 3 wide, and it looks like the 2 got a little loose, and then the 99 getting a little loose. Some tough side-by-side racing. And then, 81 of Osborne getting a little loose coming off of the corner there. Getting down into Anderson, flings him up the racetrack and into that outside wall. Now, and there's some of that extra contact that you're talking about there with the 81 and the 14 kind of there afterwards as everything's trying to filter its way on out. Just some kind of pinballs. Ooh, hard impact there from the 29 of Mayberry to the 81 of Osborne.
I think that number 2 Rod Baker Ford, he just had the air taken off of him. And he started to come around just ever so slightly, but it was enough to come down and upset the 99, and that's what kind of blew up after that. But I think the 2 of Kilgore there and the Rod Baker Ford, he just got the air took off of. We've seen that happen before many times.
That we have, and also again, I allude back to one of the most recent updates in these NASCAR trucks. A lot of drivers saying, man, these things, used to be fairly forgiving, that, you can make a mistake and pretty easily get back around and really without too much of a problem, but that's not necessarily the case anymore. And there you see, I think so even getting the air taken off you like that again, it's coming back into play, and something that these drivers will definitely have to watch out for.
Yeah, we still got a little bit of racing left here. Less than 20, though. I mean, this 1.5-mile track, it clicks off laps really quick. So I think everybody's getting ready for the mad dash here. I think we may see some more 3 wide stuff happen here at this flat track. I say flat, it's not that flat. It's hard to hold 3 wide at a track like this. It doesn't have that much banking.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of those happen here tonight, but mostly drivers able to kind of save it and prevent anything else from happening. Really, the biggest cautions that we've seen thus far here tonight have really come on from leaving pit road. All right, so I just thought the thunder struck the house.
Going around. I saw a picture yesterday of we had 102 tornado warnings
Oof.
in our recent area. Yeah, when that hurricane came through, most of those were just radar indicated rotation with nothing touching the ground, but still some people lost their lives and a bunch of property got destroyed. It was pretty wild.
Yeah,
But yeah, hope everything's going okay up there in New England.
I don't know what I heard, but we don't
Y'all
have.
some wicked weather up there, man.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. But we don't got nothing crazy rolling through. At least where I'm at, everything's looks like it's going quite a bit to the north. So thankfully, looking pretty solid thus far here tonight as we get ready to head on back to some green flag racing with the lights on the pace truck off. Going to be about 17 laps left to go. Jeremiah Burke, Zachary Hallinan, Timothy Pope, Dylan Bryant, John Curtis, Jess Fott, Trevor Robertson, Jason Gaines, David Fight, and Russ Kilgore make up your top 10 here this evening as we get up and are ready to rumble here once again.
Everybody chomping at the bit. Not many laps left. Ready to make something happen here.
As the aggression gets turned on up to 11 as here we go once again. Green flag racing as the 53 and 74 get it all fired on up. Those pedals hit the floorboards as they send it off down and around turns 1 and 2. Still staying side by side. Here's the 53, 74, 7, and the 8. Everybody not giving up in inches. They make the drive off of turn number 2. A little bit of that momentum starting to head that 53's way. Just not able to get clear though of that 74, who's going to make use of that shortest way around the racetrack on the bottom as the 53 gets a little bobbly there in the middle of the corner, able to get it corrected. However, he will lose some speed and some of that position that he gained up, allowing the 74. But here comes the 53 back with a crossover, fighting for this lead into turns 1 and 2. The 7 of Timothy Pope trying to help out that 53 as much as he can because the 7 wants a clear path to a victory here tonight. The 8 and the 33 up in arms in a great battle there themselves, watching what's happening unfold in front of them as here goes the 53 into the sucker hole. Gonna be 3 wide as they come back down across the line.
Trying to make use of that turbo tunnel if you can. Side draft off of both sides, but it's so narrow here. The line these guys run, it's gonna be difficult to do.
As they continue to bomb and weave and fight this one out like boxers. Here's the 53 finally able to get a run on the bottom side and get clear. The 74 as the 74 gets up into the outside wall. That is going to check him up quite a bit as he drops way back through this pack. That also caused a bit of a checkup here alongside of him as the 33 had just fought, now under attack from the 8 of Dylan Bryant, sees his opening. 43 of John Curtis not too far behind him, trying to make some good moves here as well. A 6 of Trevor Robertson tucks in behind the 33, trying to give him a little bit of an assist as the 53 of Jeremiah Burke just tries to get away from all the chaos unfolding behind him as the 7 of Timothy Pope stays right there on his back bumper. The beehive of activity continues though as the 2 machine gets up into the outside wall and then back down into the 43 as it's 3 wide with the 16 of Kyle Vaught down on the bottom side. 92 of Greg Klein right there inside of that action. Same thing with that 74 not yet going away.
Lori Vaught, our league admin, saying iRacing and internet problems tonight. Ugh. Yes. Frustration.
Yes, as contact 43, big wreck as the 92 of Greg Klein goes through the spin cycle. It's still wrecking out there. 123 getting a piece of the action, and that will bring out the yellow flag. It was a tight race in there with the 3 wide, and we kind of figured something was brewing out there, and boy was it ever. So we go ahead and watch what happens as the 43 and the 74 and the 92 are all 3 wide here. See the 16 of Kyle Vaught just up in front of it. And then, oh man, things just really squeezed on up as the 74 was coming down the racetrack. Just gets into the 43, who then gets into the 92. The 74 kind of has like one of those pinball kind of flipper effects from the 43 and gets shot up the racetrack and in hard into that outside wall. A couple of drivers able to sneak on through, like the 82 of Mike Everidge, just able to slip on through. The 83 getting kind of a piece of the action there kind of late. Same thing with the 123. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah, the GC Cruise Travel Machine, the 92 Greg Klein, just staying low and still not able to avoid that outside wall as he smacks it with the rear end, then smacks it with the front. Loses a lot of body work off that truck. Guarantee you he's probably got a meatball flag. Let's see here. No meatball flag, but he does have a lot of aero damage.
Oh yeah, it does.
He's going to have to get at least some of it fixed if he's going to be competitive out there.
Yeah, thankfully, it looks like they quickly collected the hood and have zip tied it back on. Same thing with that front radiator guard and all that stuff. So hopefully he'll be able to rejoin the track relatively quickly here. Probably make use of these caution laps and at the same time try not to go too many laps down. As everybody comes on down into the pits for some final pit stops, getting some damage fixed, getting whatever last minute things that they can possibly do. Jeremiah Burke, Pope, Bryant, Vaught, and Robertson, and basically everybody else electing to stay out here. I don't know if they've got an extra set of rubber at their disposal, but we're going to be closing in on the final few laps. And I can't blame them, especially if they have the track position. However, fresh tires here could change the aspect of this thing, but none of the drivers are electing to take it.
Yeah, 5 sets of tires total. Some of these guys may have banked a set here late, but like you said, no takers. We'll see how this turns out here. As once we get restarted, there's not going to be very much time here to make your move. Some of these guys wanting to make their way up to the field and try to make some passes. Only what is this lap or race number 2?
Yeah,
of the season? It's race number 2. So still early in the season, but making your mark early is important here in VRL.
And I mean, and getting your points whenever you can, because you never know what's coming up. And I mean, this back half of the NASCAR schedule that these drivers are going to be running here, it's not a set of easy tracks. There's a lot of difficult racing left to be had. I mean, you got Pocono is not an easy track. And a whole bunch of others. Give me a second here, and I mean, you got Pocono, and then followed it up with Indianapolis. Talk about 2 back-to-back difficult races. Then a couple weeks off for the Olympics. I did shoot some ideas to Lori for what the VRL can do for events during that time. But then it's Richmond, difficult track. Michigan, just going to be a very competitive track, one of our favorites. Daytona, roll of the dice. Darlington is difficult. The Legacy Atlanta is difficult. Watkins Glen is a road course, which are always difficult. Bristol, difficult. Then finally you get a cookie cutter there at Kansas, but then immediately go to Talladega. So there's not a lot of like you can sit back and relax kind of races coming up.
Yeah, it's a lot of well, I got to study this week, and I got to study next week, but the week after, it doesn't really matter. We're just gonna go out there and try to live. But yeah, it's an interesting schedule, and it's gonna be a lot of fun for us in the booth because We don't know what's going to happen.
No, we don't. Just like we have no idea what's going to happen here as the lights on the pace car are off. And it makes its way on down into a pit road as they line up side by side here. Once again, 53 and the 7 controlling this restart through the Geico restart zone. We go green flag racing here with about 7 laps left to go. And it is a fight immediately out of the gate. The 53 able to get clear of that 7 machine. The 8 is going to try to follow him on through on that bottom side. Looks like he will be able to do so. 33 at Just Vought, just nowhere to go, was picking up momentum fast, just nowhere to put it as the 6 of Trevor Robertson fights down the inside of him. You got the 2 of Russ Kilgore there, same thing with the 16 of Kyle Vaught, as here comes the 8 of Dylan Bryant down on the bottom side, making a big run back across the line. 6 laps left to go, back up the racetrack, taking control of this lead. But here comes that 7 of Timothy Pope. These two have battled here earlier this race, and we're gonna see another battle here tonight with the 53 there as well, as they go 3 wide down into turns 3 and 4. The 8 up on that outside line, electing to back out of it. Probably a smart call, but he's going to get a good crossover maneuver here on the 53 as they remain side by side fighting, except this time now it's the 7 of Timothy Pope up in the lead.
3 wide at a track like this, Chicagoland, loads and loads of fun. I can't wait to see where this is going to shake out here.
No, and don't count out that 6 of Trevor Robertson, looking very quick here as the 8 and the 53 traded a little bit of paint with some right side romance as the 7 of Timothy Pope leads them down and around turns 3 and 4. Going to be 4 laps left here. 33 of Just Vought trying everything he can to find some extra room and extra runs, but can't really go anywhere with it as the 6 and the 8 are battling up in front of him side by side for this podium. You also got the 16 in the 2 still hanging around up there. 88 of Mike Adamson in a beehive of activity with the 3, the 28, and the 43 all side by side as the 7 of Timothy Pope leads the way, still out of turns number 4, back across the line. 3 laps to go.
Lots of battling here in the middle of the track, or pack, I should say. 43, the 28, the 3. They keep going 3 wide and then back to 2 wide and back and forth. This mid pack is a lot of fun to watch here.
Man,
they're not in the fog.
Yeah, when they're not in the fog as they continue to battle it out with 2 laps remaining now. Pope just trying to hold off that 53, the 6 trying to hold off the 8, and the 8's just trying to hold off the 33. All nose to tail here up at the front. The 28 of George Rincon still trying to work his magic on that outside line against the 43. Oh, the 43 gets a little loose, loses a whole bunch of that momentum, and it gets tighter and tighter up there as the 88 gives a huge push to the 3 of Austin Paul as the 7 of Timothy Pope rounds in around turns 3 and 4. White flag is out. We are racing this one to the end. Into turns 1 and 2 they go. Burke in tow, trying to find a little bit of room, a little bit of momentum, a little bit of extra rubber that he may have left here as they make their way down the backstretch for the final time here tonight into turns 3 and 4. One mighty dive goes to 53, but it won't be in time for anything as he gets up into the outside wall. 7 is going to pick up the win with the 6 stealing a spot away from the 53.
Burke had second wrapped up, but he tried something right there at the end, just out of desperation. What an effort! But yeah, he'll lose that spot to the 6. Good job,
Yes.
these guys. This was a great race here.
A fantastic finish and a fantastic race here tonight. And, man, oh man. A great start to Burke's season. Missing out on a second here tonight, but getting another podium finish. Pope, as always, with a solid podium finish. And Trevor Robertson squeezing his way on through to up 32 spots. Your hard charger of the race. Goodness. to pick up the second place finish here tonight. Man, a fantastic run from the 6 machine.
Yeah, and celebrations continue for Tim Pope, of course. One of the greatest drivers I've seen on iRacing. This field full of talented drivers, and Trevor Iverson, Jeremiah Burke, Dylan Bryant, Jess Vaught. And then our spotlight driver tonight, Russ Kilgore in the 2 machine, finishing just outside of the top 5.
Hey, there we go. Rocket Man Russ finding the super glue for those tires to keep them on the ground. Wait for these drivers to join us in the broadcast waiting room. Again, so happy that we came back here to Chicagoland, Mr. English. I know a lot of drivers who like the road courses would love to give the street circuit another go like they did last season, but I got the sneaky suspicion that they made the right choice here tonight.
Yeah, I think we saw more competitive racing here tonight than we would have seen at a road at the street course at Chicago. So yeah, I mean, it's all about competition here in VRL. It's not about anything else. So yeah, following the NASCAR schedule sounds great until you go somewhere where it's really just not practical to run these trucks at. So I'm glad they made the change, and Chicagoland didn't disappoint tonight. It was a great race.
No, it did not. As we go ahead and start to interview some of these drivers, like our spotlight driver of the evening, the number 2 machine making his return to the VRL, Mr. Russ Kilgore, your spotlight driver of the day, up 8 spots and finishing in 6th tonight here, Russ. Congratulations, buddy. One heck of a way to announce that you've come back here tonight.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it. That was fun. Little sketchy at times, but yeah, that was a fun race. Definitely had a blast.
Well, the Rod Baker Ford F-150 out there, just outside of the top 5, but you held your own here all night. Next week, you guys heading to Pocono. We got some shallow turns in that track as well. If you're looking forward to that one, we always have a lot of fun broadcasting that because you got a little bit of everything. You got some shallow turns, you got some decent baking, and you got that big long front stretch that gives you some drafting help.
Yeah, for sure. Pocono was a blast. Except for us old guys, we got to remember what turn we're going into, so we
Yep.
get set up because they're all different. So I tend to, if I'm running by myself, tend to get a little lazy and forget where I'm at until it's too late. But yeah, I really love Pocono. That if you can get that track down, it's a lot of fun.
Well, Russ Kilgore having a fantastic night here tonight, and of course, thankfully not living up to the Rocket Man nickname here. And man, it's just so good to see you back here, buddy. Congratulations on the great run. Before we let you go, you got any final shout outs or anything like that?
Yeah, just Lori and Jess for taking me back. It's been I think a little over a year. Was gone, kind of took a little hiatus, just kind of playing around in iRacing, decided to get back into it. And my workplace, Rod Baker Ford, and girlfriend once again lets me come down here and do this for a couple hours. So appreciate it. It was fun.
Awesome, man. Well, once again, congratulations to your spotlight driver of the day, Mr. Russ Kilgore. 8 spots to finish in that 6th position, man. Congratulations. Good luck with the rest of the season here, buddy, and hopefully we get to talk to you again.
Sounds good. Thanks. Have a good night.
With that, we will move on up to tonight's 3rd place finisher, just sending it on turns 3 and 4 and scraping that outside wall on the exit, costing him a 2nd place finish, but still a solid podium 3rd place finish. A fantastic start for the season here for the 53 of Mr. Jeremiah Burke. Jeremiah, congratulations here, buddy. Nice run out there. A lot of great battles I know you were kind of a little bummed out that we were missing out on some Chicago street course racing, but how about this race here from Chicagoland?
Yeah, because I was really bummed that we missed out on the street course. So I practiced and practiced and practiced this race, and obviously it showed. I did like 5 full length AI races over the weekend. So I was ready. It was fun. Fun battling Tim there. The cautions in the middle of pit cycles there scared me for a minute. I thought, because it's really hard to pass when you're back in traffic. It's super hard. And then I got a lucky break there at the end. I got the tires on it. Really wish I could have battled it out with Tim, but you know, some people still just don't have a little, wherewithal where their truck's at and whatnot. It's okay. Still got a third. We'll come back and fight next week. I don't even know where are we going next week. Pocono. Oh yes, it's another good track. So we'll have fun. I'm off to a good start. Got 2 top 3s. Led a lot of laps. I don't know where I'm gonna come out on the leading the most laps. Maybe there's a bonus point there. We'll see. We'll see when we get out of here. But all in all, it was a real good race. 0 incident points. Had a great time. Yeah, that was a blast.
Well, Mr. Burke, we're going to Pocono next week. You got some shallow turns. That tunnel turn is a bear. It gets people.
Yeah.
But the week after that, we're going to Indianapolis, where you got pretty much 4 of those tunnel turns. So, and not much room to navigate. So, talk us through the next couple weeks. What kind of prep are you going to be doing for Pocono and Indianapolis?
So Pocono, I'm gonna go see if they've got AI racing enabled on it. I'm not sure, they didn't last time I tried, but I will see what they got there, and I'll do a bunch of those. I love that. I love the challenge Pocono, and I was never very good at it, so I practiced a lot, and I hit on something that kind of works. Of course, it's been a year since we've been there, so we'll see how it goes. And I don't remember if I raced it there last year or not. Can't remember. But unfortunately, I have to miss. Actually, I think I'm going to miss the next 2 races after Pocono. Indy, I got to go to Atlanta for training, and then I'm home for the Olympic break. So those 2 weeks we're going to do fun races or whatever we're going to do, and then I go back to Atlanta the following week. So I'm going to miss the next 2 points races. So I'll get Pocono under my belt. I'll hopefully get a good finish there, like I did the last 2 weeks, and those 2 could be my drop weeks, and we'll move on the rest of the season.
Well, you did a fantastic job here once again tonight, putting on a spectacular show here at Chicagoland. Before we let you go, do you got any final shout-outs or anything like that?
Yeah, I got to give the shout-outs to the girls. They're here ready to go. We're actually on our way to cheer right now. We're a few minutes late here, but got to stick around for the interview. So, yeah, and then, of course, Albert, Larry, Joe, Jack, everybody on Team All-Star Racing. It's a blast. It's a good group of guys in Discord there. It was a lot of fun. I wish they were all running good today, and then they had some bad luck rear their heads, so they didn't get the finishes they wanted. But we'll be back at it next week. We're all fast and looking forward to the rest of the season. New rejuvenated team here.
Oh, yes, indeed it is. Well, we'll let you get those girlies off to cheer practice, man. Congratulations to the 53 of Jeremiah Burke on the 3rd place finish, man. Good luck next week at Pocono, and man, hopefully work can reschedule here, because we want to see you back out here on this racetrack.
All right, have a good one. Thank you, guys.
With that, we will move on up to your hard charger. Excuse me, the hard charger of the race, up 32 spots to the number 6 of Mr. Trevor Robertson. Trevor, you know 32 spots is a lot, right? Like, you don't need to show off by how many people you can pass here, buddy, but you finished up there in 2nd. Talk about one heck of a run and finding yourself in a really good spot inside that beehive of activity in those final 10 laps.
Oh, it was definitely was a beehive, that's for sure. I mean, if you had momentum, you had to take it wherever it went, because I mean, if you checked up, it would take you 2 or 3 laps just to get back to where you were. And I just tried keeping the truck clean, keeping the the tires managed well, and I was able to climb through the field with every caution that come out.
Love that awesome witch doctor paint on that Chevrolet that you're driving. That looks like a Ricky Wittenberg special, I think, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, man, great job out here tonight, taking second place. And what are you thinking about next week? You guys rolling into Pocono? I think a lot of guys are looking forward to it. I know we are.
Oh, I'm definitely looking forward to it. I love Pocono. It's just mastering each, unique turn. It's a blast to drive. So I'm hoping to do well, and we'll just see what I can do.
Awesome, man. Well, big congratulations to the 6 of Trevor Robertson, your heart charger of the day. Before we let you go here, buddy, got any final shout outs or anything like that?
Just shout out to my teammates. We placed really well tonight, 1, 2, and I know we had at least 3 in the top 10. And our new teammate, Austin, I think we're going to do well together. And you guys in the booth for keeping it entertaining each week. Jess and Lori for putting up with everybody every week. Sometimes it's easier than others, but that's about it.
Awesome, man. Well, big congratulations once again. Your second place finisher, the 6 of Trevor Robertson, man. Congratulations. Keep up that momentum, and good luck with the rest of the season here, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one.
And with that, we move on up to the race winner, and it's just a guy named Mr. Timothy Pope who is doing Timothy Pope stuff. Picking up your race win is the 7 machine, Mr. Tim Pope. Tim, congratulations here, buddy, notching another win under that belt of yours. And it was a hard-fought win up there, up till the end. It looks like you saved just enough rubber to make the passes that you needed to there within those final 10 laps.
Yeah, they made me work for it there. They slide up under Bert and deal in there, get around, get on up there, getting that clean air.
Clean air key pretty much at a track like this, and kind of the same deal next week. You guys going to Pocono. Clean air is going to be important in getting grip, at least in turn 1 there. As you guys negotiate 3 completely different turns there. What are your thoughts rolling into Pocono? And then talk a little bit about the week after. You guys head to Indianapolis, which is not an easy track either.
Yeah, I like Pocono. Tricky, a little tricky. Different corners, like you said. Kind of flat. Both of them's kind of flat. I just seem to do pretty good, I guess. I like them both.
Yeah, that's definitely good to hear. As we kind of wrap things up here, Tim, congratulations once again. Before we let you go, got any final shout-outs or anything like that?
Everybody on this team had a good show on the night. Ricky at D&D Graphics. You guys for broadcasting, and Jess and Lori for all they do.
Awesome, man. Well, congratulations once again to your race winner, Mr. Tim Pope, here from Chicagoland. Congratulations. Good luck coming up next week and the rest of the season here, buddy.
Thank you.
Oh, man. And with that, we close out all the interviews and all the action from the Chicagoland Speedway here. And it was an interesting race there. English, we saw some interesting timing on some cautions. Saw some kind of late race aggressive shenanigans. And it all came out to a fantastic product out on TV tonight.
Yeah, only a couple of cautions, and everybody taking pretty good care of their trucks, and only saw a couple of incidents out there. So yeah, man, even with all the aggression we saw late, and it's a little bit 3 wide, it was great. It was a lot of fun to watch. I enjoyed it.
As we continue to wind things down, let's go ahead and tell everybody where their favorite driver ended up finishing here tonight. With that, 7 of Timothy Pope picking up the race win. 6 of Trevor Robertson up 32 spots to bring on home second place. 53 of Jeremiah Burke with a latch-ditch effort trying to catch up to Tim. Just not quite able to do so. Rounds out your podium there in third. A great night for the 8 of Dylan Bryant with a solid 4th place finish here as well as the 33 of Just Fought climbing back up inside that top 5 after a little bit of a rough week last week, but up 13 spots here tonight for that 5th place finish. Your spotlight driver of the day, 2 of Russ Kilgore, up a handful of spots to finish here tonight in 6th. The 16 of young Kyle Vaught hangs on for the end to finish up there in 7th place. He's got the 88 of Mike Adamson coming in just behind him there in 8th. Up 12 spots on the day is the new Ain't Dead Yet team member, the 3 of Austin Paul, picking up that 9th place finish. 13 spots gained for the 28 of Mr. George Rincon to round out your field's top 10. Following that, it's going to be the 81 of Jonathan Osborne with some fantastic runs. Scott Roney in the 023 finishing in 12th. Ricky Wittenberg in the double nickel having a great run there in the 13 machine in the 55 to finish in 13th. 43 of John Curtis was battling his guts out there, finishing here tonight in 14th, up 12 spots, up 23 spots on the day. The 82 of Mike Everidge to finish in 15th. 434 Kevin Hunt with one of his best finishes here in the VRL, finishing up 12 and into that 16th position. Also got the 68 of Dustin with an eye, Dustin Wade, up inside this top 20 in 17th. 10 of Andrew Cawthon had a little bit of a wild ride out there, but was able to fight on through for an 18th place finish. The one of David Fight saw him up inside the top 10 quite a bit here tonight before eventually falling back into a 19th. And rounding out your top half of the field with some late I don't want to say oopsies, just a late incident as your 99 of America's driver, Albert Anderson.
14 truck of Dustin Eaton. Dustin with the Y. He'll finish in 21st. 22nd place, Darby Marioth in the 42 machine. 13 Andrew Player, former champion here, finishes in 23rd. 24th, Jason Gaines in the 83 finishes your last truck on the lead lap. The first truck 1 lap down, Greg Klein in the 92 finishes in 25th. 26th will be Larry Dickerson in the 69. The double 7, Jacob Young, finishes in 27th place. 28th place goes to Deion Jones in the 4. The 29, Dave, the nickname Mayberry, finishes in 29th after starting 29th, and he's number 29. That's crazy. 5 laps down there. Rounding out your top 30 here, Craig Goodenough in the 89 machine started way up in 5th. Not the evening that Craig really wanted out there. The 72, Chandler Paul, finishes right where he started, right there in 31st place. The 123 of John Gallagher finishes in 32nd place. 33rd place, Zachary Hallinan in the 74. 23, Sean McDonald, our buddy up there in Canada, finishes in 34th place. 35th, Joe Canellis, one of our newcomers here in the 11 machine. The 085 truck, Greg Dobson, another one of our Canadian friends, down a whole bunch of spots here. He started in 11th. He finished in 36th place. 37th place, Kelly Keel in the 01. 75 of Stoney Benfield started in 2nd. He'll finish back in 38th place. 39th, John McAdam in the 47. Rounding out your field here tonight, the 56 of Benjamin Richards, down 20 spots.
And that is your field here tonight from Chicagoland. As always, we thank you all for tuning in and watching, having a great time out here with us. If you haven't done so already, be sure to hit that subscribe button, ring the notification bell. That way you get alerted every single time that we go live. And of course, if you enjoy any of the action, be sure to hit that thumbs up button so that way we can continue to grow this fantastic community. Of course, we also have to say a huge thank you to the proud sponsors of the VRL, such as GC Cruise Travel, Blue Fox Properties with Mr. Dave Mayberry, DND Race Graphics, and Southbound Real Estate with Mr. Ricky Wittenberg. Thank you all for your continued support of this fantastic league. So that way they are able to put on the amazing show week in and week out like they always do. So with that, we close things down here for the evening. We return to action with the Numb Thumbs Racing League Super Speedway Series coming up on Sunday with a championship race from the Numb Thumbs Racing League Next Gen Cup Series coming up on Monday. So a whole bunch of exciting racing coming up here for this weekend, and we can't wait to see you all then. But until then, I'm Alan Brown for Alan English. We are signing off.
We gone.